welcome to our channel. If you're new, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to like, comment, or share.
In the realm of religious leadership, few figures have stirred as much controversy as TB Joshua, the founder of the Synagogue Church of All Nations. His life and actions came under intense scrutiny following a three-part BBC documentary released on Monday, January 8, 2024. The investigative piece delved into allegations of sexual crimes committed by the influential clergyman who passed away in 2021. The documentary unveiled the testimonies of 25 eyewitnesses and alleged victims, each claiming to have lived with Joshua on his church premises at different times. The revelations from these individuals painted a stark and troubling image of a man once revered by his followers. These allegations have sparked a fierce debate, leading many to question the legacy of this revered clergyman. TB Joshua had a fascination with the camera, a tool he used to add authenticity to his gospel of miracle work. This tool, the camera, was wielded with such intensity and commitment that it became a cornerstone of his ministry. TB Joshua embraced this technology, investing a staggering 90% of the ministry's earnings on VHS videos. His single command to the camera crew was simple yet profound: record everything. And record they did. From the mundane to the miraculous, every moment within the walls of the Synagogue Church of All Nations was captured for posterity. These videos, raw and unfiltered, were not just archives. They were the church's primary means of outreach, the conduit through which TB Joshua's message spread across continents. People like Agamo Paul, an ex-SCOAN member, can attest to the pervasive presence of the camera in the ministry. Paul shared how these videos covered everything, including the healings performed at SCOAN, adding a layer of undeniable authenticity to TB Joshua's gospel of miracle work. Then there were individuals like Ray and Annika, ex-SCOAN members based abroad, who first encountered TB Joshua through these videos. Their experiences highlight the powerful impact these videos had on viewers. Ray shared, "The day it started was the day I was shown videos from SCOAN. Nothing was ever the same. It had a profound effect on me." Annika too was taken aback. "It was shocking to see," she said, referring to the graphic nature of the footage. In an old interview footage, TB Joshua explained his rationale for capturing everything on camera. "If Jesus wasn't recorded in the Bible, you would not believe that he's the same yesterday, today, and forever," he said. His words echo the belief that recording was not just about documenting, but about creating belief and faith. Despite the shocking visual content, these videos played a significant role in shaping the perception of TB Joshua and his ministry. They were a testament to his work, a tangible proof of the miracles he claimed to perform, and a powerful tool in spreading his message far and wide. Beneath the holy man facade, TB Joshua was a different person, one with a temper that shocked many who knew him personally. Ex-members of his congregation recall a side of him that was hidden from the public eye. They speak of a man who was quick to anger and swift to act. One former member, who was tasked with writing articles for the church, recounted a chilling incident. When asked about an unfinished article, he responded, "Sorry sir, I've not published it yet." The response he got was a slap across the face. This was not an isolated incident. Other members recall similar situations where they would scatter at the first sign of their leader heating up. They knew all too well that those who stayed behind would bear the brunt of his wrath. But the strange thing was, these acts of physical abuse were not seen as such within the confines of the church. On the contrary, they were told that it was an honor to be slapped by TB Joshua, as he was seen as being next to Jesus. This kind of justification is a common tactic used by those in power to manipulate their followers and maintain control. It's a tool that allows them to create a narrative where abusive behavior is not only accepted but also revered. This is a disturbing revelation, and it's a stark reminder of how those in positions of authority can misuse their influence. These accounts, shared by those who were once part of TB Joshua's inner circle, reveal a man who was not the saint he was made out to be. Instead, they paint a picture of a man who was quick to anger, swift to punish, and adept at manipulating those around him into accepting and even celebrating his abusive actions. These experiences paint a disturbing picture of the revered clergyman, one that starkly contrasts with the image he presented to the world. The revelations from the BBC documentary have far-reaching implications, not just for the legacy of TB Joshua, but for religious leadership as a whole. These allegations, if proven true, could drastically alter the way we perceive religious leaders and their roles in society. The image of TB Joshua, once seen as a revered clergyman and miracle worker, is now under scrutiny. The accounts of the 25 eyewitnesses and alleged victims have challenged the authenticity of his ministry. They paint a picture of a man who, beneath his holy facade, may have been flawed and abusive. This challenges the narrative that religious leaders are beyond reproach and brings to light the need for greater transparency and accountability in religious institutions. The impact of these revelations could extend beyond TB Joshua and his ministry. They could lead to a broader questioning of religious leadership. Are these leaders who wield considerable power and influence held to the same standards as everyone else? Are their actions scrutinized and held accountable in the same way? Or are they given a pass because of their perceived closeness to the divine? These questions are not easy to answer, but they are necessary to ask. They force us to confront the uncomfortable truth that religious leaders, like all humans, are capable of wrongdoing. They remind us that, regardless of one's position or influence, accountability should never be compromised. These allegations also underline the necessity for religious institutions to establish robust systems of checks and balances. These systems should ensure that leaders are held accountable for their actions and that victims of abuse have avenues to seek justice. As the debate continues, one thing is clear: the legacy of TB Joshua will forever be marked by these revelations. They serve as a sobering reminder of the potential for abuse in positions of power and the importance of holding all leaders, religious or otherwise, to the same standards of accountability.
Have we ever wondered why certain religious leaders seem to be particularly obsessed with attracting a white audience? Let's take a closer look at one such instance. We delve into the intriguing world of TB Joshua, a clergyman whose alleged bias towards a white audience has been the subject of much speculation. Paul, a former second-in-command to TB Joshua, claims that the clergyman had a particular fondness for white people, or as he put it, Oyinbo. He recounts an instance where Joshua gave VHS tapes of miracles and confessions to a white pastor from South Africa, with the request to distribute them back home. This was no random act of generosity, but a calculated move to attract a white congregation. And it worked. The church experienced significant growth when foreigners started coming. As Paul puts it, the greatest thing that pumped Synagogue Church was when the foreigners started coming. The lure of a white audience, it seems, was too strong to resist. But what if this obsession went beyond mere attraction and crossed into the territory of manipulation and misconduct? This is where the narrative takes a sinister turn. Allegedly, the disciples loyal to TB Joshua were tasked not only with spreading the gospel of the church, but also with recruiting new, preferably white members. According to two former members, Abisola and Paul, they specifically targeted vulnerable white individuals, as they were perceived to be easier to manipulate. But the allegations don't end there. Several women, once under TB Joshua's guidance, claimed to have been sexually abused by the clergyman himself. Abisola, one of his earliest female disciples, alleged that she was repeatedly raped during her 14 years membership. She also claimed that TB Joshua had a disturbing request. He asked her to find virgins for him. The allegations paint a picture of a leader whose obsession allegedly crossed the line into abuse. But the alleged misconduct didn't stop at manipulation and abuse. It also allegedly extended to a disregard for safety. Let's turn our attention to the infamous guest house collapse of 2014. On a fateful day in September, a guest house within the Synagogue Church of All Nations in Lagos, Nigeria, gave way, taking the lives of 115 people. TB Joshua, the church's leader, attributed this tragedy to an aircraft that supposedly hovered over the building at the time of the collapse. However, former employees of the church, such as Emmanuel, tell a different tale. They allege that the building was structurally unsound, a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. It is claimed that TB Joshua ignored professional advice, opting to add more stories to the already compromised structure. The collapse, it seems, was a tragic symptom of a culture of cover-ups. What does all this tell us about the dangers of obsession and the alleged misconduct it can lead to? We've journeyed through the narrative of one religious figure's alleged obsession with a white audience, the purported manipulation of vulnerable individuals, and the tragic collapse of a guest house in 2014. These accounts, as told by former members and associates, paint a disturbing picture of what can transpire when obsession and alleged misconduct intertwine in a religious setting. The gravity of these allegations serves as a stark reminder of the importance of accountability and transparency, especially from those in positions of influence and authority. As we continue to delve into such revelations, we must remember that the pursuit of truth should be relentless. Our duty is to question, scrutinize, and never cease in our quest for understanding. As we close this chapter, let's keep this conversation alive. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.